October 16, 1943. The frostbitten fields outside Kiev stretch endlessly under a gray, leaden sky. The wind slices across the ground like a sharpened blade, carrying the acrid stench of gunpowder and smoke. Among the scattered Soviet forces, a figure in a worn, heavy coat moves with determined precision. Maria Oktyabrskaya, a woman of unassuming stature yet unbreakable resolve, stands beside a freshly painted T-34 tank, the metal gleaming wetly in the early morning drizzle. Her husband, a devoted soldier, had fallen months prior, leaving her grief-stricken but unyielding. With her own life savings, she purchased this tank, naming it Fighting Girlfriend. Soldiers nearby glance with disbelief. It is rare to see a woman at the helm, much less one preparing to drive into the chaos of the Eastern Front. Her hands, small but steady, trace the contours of the turret, as if drawing courage from the steel itself. The radio crackles to life. Orders filter through the chaos. The battalion must hold a ridge, a critical point that could prevent German forces from encircling the Soviet advance. Maria climbs into the driver's seat, her eyes narrowing at the map spread across the tank's dashboard. She can hear the engines of other tanks rumbling in the distance, mingling with the terrified screams of soldiers and the distant, rhythmic pounding of artillery shells. Every second pulses with lethal anticipation. As the T-34 lurches forward, mud spraying from its tracks, Maria is not merely maneuvering a machine, she is embodying vengeance, duty, and sheer human determination. Bullets ping against the armor, and explosions throw earth into the air like fountains of fire. But her hands remain unwavering on the controls, navigating her crew through minefields and shattered villages with an almost preternatural instinct. This is not a novice behind the wheel, this is someone fighting not only for survival but for a memory that refuses to fade. Her presence is electric. Commanders, both Soviet and, unbeknownst to them, Allied observers from afar, begin to take note. A female driver leading her tank into the heart of combat, repairing it under fire when shells crack the engine, and pushing it forward despite damage that would have grounded less determined men, is not just extraordinary, it is unprecedented. The sky darkens further as the battalion reaches the ridge, now under intense artillery barrage. Maria's T-34 charges forward, leading a small column of tanks through broken trees and cratered earth. One of the lead tanks hits a landmine, the explosion sending flames licking into the sky. Instinctively, Maria swings her turret, providing cover fire to prevent the enemy from exploiting the chaos. Her crew, though exhausted and terrified, follows her commands without hesitation, their lives tethered to her resolve. Suddenly, a shell pierces the side of the T-34, disabling one of the treads. The tank groans, tilting dangerously, but Maria does not hesitate. She climbs out under a hail of bullets, tools in hand, and begins repairing the track while enemy fire rakes the ground around her. Sparks fly as metal grinds against metal, and smoke curls around her head like a shroud. Minutes feel like hours, but when she finishes, the tank roars back to life. The battalion moves again, inspired by the courage of this single driver who has become a symbol of relentless defiance. Every village they pass tells the same story: destruction, despair, and yet, through it all, the steadfast advance of a T-34 named Fighting Girlfriend. Maria's bravery does more than keep her crew alive, it shifts the momentum of the engagement. German forces, expecting chaos and surrender, are stunned by the cohesion and audacity of the Soviet tanks under her lead. By the end of the day, the ridge is held, the battalion intact. Reports reach higher command. A female tank driver not only participated in combat but, through courage and skill, saved an entire battalion from annihilation. Allied commanders are astonished, witnessing through intelligence reports and aerial reconnaissance that history has produced a hero forged in steel, fire, and unyielding human spirit. Maria, quiet and bloodied, does not seek recognition, she merely wipes soot from her face, climbs back into her tank, and drives forward into the next battle, the Fighting Girlfriend roaring like the echo of a vow she has yet to break.